What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another GEST July matchup between Neolution on the Sentinel side and Mineski on the Scourge. This is still the group stages, and this is from Group D, and only two teams can make it out of these groups, and so far, Mineski and Neolution are looking to be the two favorites, even though Mineski, in the last game I casted, did lose, but still, they have won every other match. Meanwhile, Neolution looking to take the place of Orange as one of the most dominant Malaysian Dota 1 teams right now, since Orange decided to skip GST July and the next GST in order to focus on Dota 2 and to train up for the International 2. Meanwhile, neither of these teams are playing at the International, so they have full focus to devote to Dota 1 and Dota 2 should they choose which one they want to go for. But anyway, as usual, I don't know how many more GST July matches I'll be bringing you, just because this is the last of the group stages match that I probably will bring you. If there are some good bracket matches, I'll try to bring you those, but I'll try to get maybe 4 more matches at the very least, I suppose. But still, if you want to support me, best way is to follow me on my YouTube and follow me on my stream. But thank you all for watching, so let's get into this game. Neolution decides to ban the Windrunner and the Naga Siren, and meanwhile, Mineski rebuts with the Darkseer and a Shadow Demon ban, and this leaves a lot of possibilities open. Let's see, Puck is still in the pool. I'm not really too sure how Mineski likes to deal with Puck, just because we saw in the MSI Overdrive tournament that Mineski was not a part of. Puck was very, very dominant, but in these past two Pinoy games, since they've been playing against international competition, Puck has not been faring nearly as well. But still, he is in the pool. DK is still in the pool, one of the most dominant carries in the Filipino scene. Just ridiculously tanky, very hard to bring down. So DK can still be an option. Queen of Pain, of course, is always a pick. Ancient Apparition is still in the pool as well as Earthshaker. Morphling, and maybe we'll see some uncommon heroes like a Thrall or a Wisp or anything like that. But still, I do not see the Filipinos picking up Wisp at all, unlike we see in Dota 2. Rubik is the opening pickup for Mineski, and that leaves up a couple options to Neolution. Will they go for the beginnings of their trend? Will they pick up an immediate support, or will they go for a hard carry in the form of a DK or a Morphling, or a Weaver, I suppose? I haven't been too familiar with Neolution's playstyle as of recent. I know I've casted games with them in the past, but still, it's been a while since I've casted a game of them recently. So it'll be interesting to see what lineup they decide to go for. They decide to pick up the Furion, the Prophet, for some global gank, and this is definitely a departure from the Pinoy style. I mean, Pinoys, they love their tri-lane and then their solo one-in-one lanes where Furion doesn't really fit in as well. They don't really like to go for aggressive mid-lane ganks with the Furion if they decide to pick him up. But meanwhile, the international teams really like picking up Furion. We saw Stars Boba picking them up just recently up against XTN, and we're going to see Neolution pick up the Furion as well. So will they decide to go for another support? They go for the Queen of Pain, perhaps denying Mineski of their own Queen of Pain, since Jay is a very competent Queen of Pain player. But still, Queen of Pain, a very mobile, very versatile hero. But hopefully he doesn't get put against an impossible lane, because Queen of Pain has not been succeeding in the Dota 1 scene at all recently. Queen of Pain has just been shut down so early on in these 1v1 solo top lane that we see so often. But maybe Neolution will put Queen of Pain in the mid lane where she has a bit more room to escape, where she can escape in a multitude of directions with that level 1 blink. But in the top lane, she usually has a difficult time because it's so much more space to gank her by coming in through these trees and just throw down a lot of disables when she only has level 1 blink. But we see Chen and Dragon Knight being the immediate counter picks by Mineski. Chen we haven't seen nearly as much in the Filipino scene, but actually when I was looking through some replays, we saw a bit more of Chen. So maybe they respect the power of the pushing that Chen can give you. And of course Chen is a jungle hero, so we're not going to see the standard tri-lane 1-in-1 setup of the Filipino scene. We're going to see Chen in the jungle, unless we see a laning Chen, which, hey, anything is possible in the Filipino scene. But no, we're going to see a jungle Chen, guys. Don't get it twisted. And this also opens up the possibility that we could see a Rubik solo lane, but no, Dragon Knight is most likely going to be soloing the mid. So there's still a couple heroes that Mineski can pick up. They need to pick up a laning support if they... No, they have Rubik as laning support. They still need to have a sort of semi-carry that the Rubik can protect, and they still have to go with our long lane support. So if they want to do that, or their safe lane support if they put it on the top lane. Meanwhile, Neolution Well, they counterpick. There's still a couple years in the pool, Ancient Apparition, but they decided to go with the Morphling pickup. I like this choice a lot, but right now what they're really lacking is just in terms of hardcore disables, no stuns on their side. Only one thing that can cancel a TP, which is the Morphling Adaptive Strike, which of course has a 10-second cooldown and doesn't really scale that well until the late game when he gets a lot of items. So if Neolution, fortunately for Neolution, there's not too many chasing heroes on the side of Mineski, which is a pretty big departure. We usually see Mineski pick up Slardars, pick up Queen of Pains, pick up Pucks for a lot of chasing, and we see respective tri-lane bans of Earthshaker, Ancient Apparition by Mineski. Meanwhile, Neolution decides to ban out the Tiny and the Crystal Main, fearing that, okay, Tiny could solo mid, he could gank us a lot, and can kill our squishy heroes like the Furin, like the Queen of Pain, like the Morphling early on. But, yeah, so that's going to force DK to solo mid, so maybe Neolution has an idea of who to put solo mid up against the Dragon Knight. Meanwhile, Mineski, they're thinking long and hard about who they want to pick up for their long lane, so will it be a Puck? Puck has been, of course, seeing a lot of success in the Filipino scene, but only in Filipino versus Filipino matches, not against other international teams. So like I said, in these early GST July matches, Puck has not been seeing nearly the amount of success as we saw in the MSI Overdrive tournament and in GST June when it was Filipino versus Filipino. This is a much more international or much more Southeast Asian spread out tournament. Like, teams besides the Philippines are doing reasonably well, so maybe they're either playing Dota 1 more seriously or maybe the Philippines are just starting to switch to Dota 2, but either way, we'll see how this game decides to shape up. There's still a lot of time left in the extra ban and pick phase timer. So Mineski, they're thinking long and hard. Will they go for another support in the form of, well, Crystal Main was banned. So, I'm a little bit curious to see what they pick up. They could pick up an Axe, I suppose, if they want to go for mid lane and have Rubik protect the DK. But no, they're going to go for a Wisp. Now, Wisp is a hero we never see in the Filipino scene at all. Wisp we see quite a bit in the European scene. Very, very powerful ganker. But there's no really... Well, I guess you can tether the Rubik and just get a lot of ganks off that way. So Wisp is going to add another dimension to the Neolution lineup. Meanwhile, Neolution decides to pick up the Puck. So it's going to be interesting to see how they lane this. Looks like Furin will probably be in the jungle just because they need somebody to support the Morphling, and Puck and Queen of Pain both need solo lanes just so they can get experience. So the Neolution, all that remains for them is to pick up one more support. So that really depends on who they want to pick up. Could they go for a Vengeful Spirit? They might go for a Thrall. Thrall in the dual lane is pretty powerful just because he gets a lot more experience since Ancient Apparition and Shouting are both out of the pool. So I expect to see a Thrall picked up by Neolution. But meanwhile, Wisp Dragon Knight, very, very potent combination, a lot of stunning power against single targets. But will Neolution allow them to get the ganks off? One thing about their lineup is it's very difficult to gank. Only hero who's relatively easy to gank is Furin, but if he plays his cards right, he can just teleport, sprout out. Meanwhile, the Morphling, Queen of Pain, Puck, very difficult to gank, and looks like Mineski pick up the Stealth Assassin. Pretty interesting pickup, Stealth Assassin with the relocate. Of course, if you relocate to where the Stealth Assassin is, you have an instant 3-man gank. So a pretty interesting hero to pick up. Definitely works well with the Wisp, but it's going to be interesting to see how they decide to lane this, because right now Mineski is severely lacking in the laning phase. Chen, of course, will be in the jungle. Rubik is going to be helping out in the lanes of Dragon Knight, Wisp. Stealth Assassin are not the best laning heroes. Stealth Assassin, at the very least, is an abysmal laning hero. Not tanky, not very mobile, and of course doesn't get that permanent invisibility till level 6, as you all know. You've all played Stealth Assassin. Come on, guys. Get dust, man. Meanwhile, Neolution is just deciding on which support to pick up. I expect to see the Thrall to dual lane with the Morphling, have a lot of range, have a lot of staying power, have the possibility of some burst damage with the Thunder Strike, with the waveform, should they choose to go for a kill. But mostly Thrall with his range should be able to pick up experience and be able to protect the Morphling at the same time, especially if he's up against on-lane souls. So, well, whichever lane the Morphling and the Thrall are going to be in, because I fully expect to see a Thrall. If there's not a Thrall, then I'm just going to punch myself in the face. So we're going to see a Tidehunter, so I guess I'm going to punch myself in the face. Ow, that hurt. So Tidehunter, this is going to make laning a lot more interesting, because there's no really babysitter hero for the Morphling, and yeah, not really too sure about the Tidehunter pickup. I guess they wanted a reliable stun rather than an unreliable stun in the form of the Thrall. And of course, Ravage combined with Dream Coil will be very, very difficult to deal with, as Neolution is complaining about latency. But Ravage combined with the Dream Coil, very, very powerful. And they want some slows as well, but one thing about Neolution's lineup is that they do not have too many stuns. They have long cooldown stuns on their side. in the form of the Dream Coil and the Ravage, but still, if Mineski wants to escape, it'll be pretty easy for them to do so if they get enough move speed and enough mobility. And Wisp Tether, of course, increasing the move speed of the other heroes is going to be very, very, very useful in that regard. So let's introduce the players and the teams. We have Taji playing the Queen of Pain on Neolution, Noxum playing the Furion, Bali playing the Tidehunter, KYT playing the Puck, and InTreso playing the Morphling. Meanwhile, RR is going to be playing the Wisp, Oa is going to be playing the Rubik, Jay is going to be playing the Stealth Assassin, Woots is going to be playing the Chen, and Jojo is playing the Dragonite per usual. So, Jay playing the Stealth Assassin, and looks like he's going to the mid lane. Looks like they might dual lane it up mid with Wisp protecting the Stealth Assassin. I like this laning choice by Mineski. Meanwhile, we're going to see a Morphling in the middle lane, and Morphling, he should be out-harassed bit by the Wisp, but Stealth Assassin is not really a hero who can easily get a kill on the Morphling with the help of the Wisp. They don't really have a reliable second stun. They have to get the tether and they have to run in close. And if Morphling just sticks to his tires, should be a-okay. But I expect this Morphling to rush a very fast bottle. And we can see the Furion is going to go to the jungle. Meanwhile, it's going to be Puck versus Dragonite on the top lane, with the Chen, of course, backing him up. Dragonite should be able to take the Puck harassment just fine. He has very high base armor, and if he gets 1 point of Dragon's Blood, he should be able to tank all the harassment. Meanwhile, it looks like some early harassment on the Rikimaru, as the creeps are next to the Morphling, so he's going to pick up level 2 very, very quickly in this solo lane. And meanwhile, on the bottom lane, we're going to have Rubik going to solo it up against the Queen of Pain with the help of the Tidehunter, and Rubik's going to have a miserable time. Rubik does not have a reliable escape mechanism, so if Queen of Pain just wants to pick up an early level Shadow Strike, which she does, here comes the blank Shadow Strike, and Rubik's going to be in a lot of trouble, going to drop the telekinesis, but Tidehunter can get the block off with the help of the Gush. Yes, nice blocking by Bali, completely blocking Oa, and the last hit is picked up by Bali. Nicely done by Neolution, and this bottom lane is just going to be completely lost by Mineski, so they're going to have to really make sure that they win the middle lane. Chen, of course, is going to probably pick up some early levels, leave Dragonite to pick up as much experience as possible with as much farm, because he should not be in too much of danger of being threatened by a Puck. And you can see Dragonite going for that very fast soaring. And Mineski, since their laning is a little bit more messed up since they're experimenting, and we saw this in Dota 2 as well against DK, Mineski definitely been more experimental lately, and I really respect them for that, going outside their comfort zone. They're not going with the standard Pinoy double Battle Crow, just since they know the laning is not suited for that. Stealth Assassin not really Battle Crow here, neither is Wisp. DK can Battle Crow should he choose to do that. Rubik can Battle Crow as well, but is it really necessary? As long as DK picks up a soaring, he should be a-okay up against Puck. Meanwhile, Stealth Assassin is having a reasonably successful time against Morphling. Yes, 12 CS about to be picked up. Meanwhile, Morphling not farming well at all. Meanwhile, Chen is farming pretty well in the jungle. Should be able to pick up level 5 before he starts to go for the push. Dragonite is just content to farm up, get his soaring as fast as possible. But yeah, no double Battle Crow. Definitely departure from the usual Mineski style. But we saw them against DK, and they played pretty well against DK in that Dota 2 matchup. And if you want to watch that matchup, it's from the It's Ghosty Monthly Madness on my channel, Dota 2. DK versus Mineski, and Mineski gave DK a really good fight. Not gonna lie. Meanwhile, Stealth Assassin is content to farm up as Tidehunter is going to roam a bit, knowing that the bottom lane is pretty much already won. They already have the jungling support of the Furion, should they choose to kill the Rubik once more with the Sprout teleport gank, so they're going to help out the Morphling a little bit more. Not too much Tidehunter can do, aside from dropping an occasional Gush, but he's just going to plop some Sentry Wards down. Morphling going to morph a bit just to get his HP pulls back up. It does sufficient damage to last hit, as there's going to be a teleport in by the Furion. No, looks like he's going to just juke out. The Wisp is pretty low HP, and the Ricky is forced to salve up in response to some of the harassment. Morphling is slowly but surely getting more and more farm, and this Wisp, of course, has pretty low base damage, but still, once it gets to tether, it'll be really, really difficult to kill this Ricky. You know, Puck 13-2 up against the Dragonite 17-1. Puck is not having a good time in this lane, but Puck, of course, has a much more noticeable mid-game impact once he picks up the Dream Coil. And up against Slime, Dream Coil will be very, very useful, holding people in place as Ricky's going to go on the offensive. Now just doing some Blink Strike harassment. Meanwhile, Queen of Pain should have this lane completely won. Now 14-4 compared to 13-1, so Oa doing a nice job getting himself back in the lane, and Fade Bolt's just making it much more difficult for Oa, or for Taji, to pick up last hits. So very annoying to do so against that reduced damage of the Fade Bolt. Such an annoying spell to deal with. And of course, pretty low mana cost, I think. I think it's like 90 at level 1. And it just scales very, very nicely for the Rubik. I think it's like 110 at level 3, so 120 at level 4. Meanwhile, Dragonite, no, just a little bit of harassment. So far, if Mineski can pick up the levels and the laning, as Morphling is getting a lot of harassment, he's forced to morph as he's bottle crowing it up. And you can see Neolution, trademark of the non-Filipino Dota scene, is just going to be content to just bottle crow it with only one career. As looks like Oa did take the fall with the gank of Nasum, the Furion. So, looks like Nasum having a relatively good time, picks up an assist gold, as looks like Wisp is just going to do a little bit of harassment, but still Nasum, or Taji, is not lasting every single creep, which is a bit unfortunate. Of course, Fable being very, very annoying in that regard. And fortunately for Oa, he's level 5, so he's been able to pick up a reasonable amount of experience, and he cannot underestimate a lot of experience on Rubik, because that magical damage will just be reduced a lot by the null field. Once he gets to that point, a lot of the puck damage, a lot of the Morphling waveform damage, a lot of the Tidehunter gush and Ravage damage will be reduced in that regard. So it looks like these lanes are playing a little bit slow, a little bit close to the bone. This isn't the typical try-lane versus try-lane action that we've been so accustomed to seeing in Southeast Asian, which makes for a refreshing change of pace. Definitely more deliberate, definitely more time to talk about other things. As looks like Oa is forced to salve up, taking a lot of harassment, as there might be engagement in the middle lane. Stealth Assassin taking a lot of edge from the Gush. Does Morphling have enough waveform mana to waveform? Yes, he does. Nicely done picking off Jay, but looks like Morphling's going to be in a bit of trouble. Here comes Furion with the teleport, and Sentinel with the help of Anchor Smash and a teleport in by Nasum. Managed to pick up the last hit. So this ganking by Neolution putting up to a strong start, as looks like KYT managed to pick off Jojuro. Very, very low HP on KYT. But Dreamcoat, Illusory Orb, and Winning-Ret with a couple phase shifts in there, able to kill the Dragonite. So far, Neolution taking control of this game, 5 kills to nothing, and they're going to pick up a lot of free farm that they wouldn't pick up usually as Morphling decides to bottle up and just waveform out of there, picking up some CS in the meantime. And looks like Queen of Pain does bottle the regeneration rune, and Morphling's going to be content to keep bottle crowing it up. But right now, Mineski not proving to be too successful, but fortunately for them, Rubik is level 6. Wisp, of course, is getting a lot of levels. If Mineski was playing their usual tri-lane, their supports would be very underleveled. But then again, they might have more secure time in the lane, as looks like Oa might be in a bit of trouble. Here comes the Furion with the Sprout, and the Wisp is going to tether in, but Queen of Pain blinks in, gets a Scream of Pain. Scream of Pain is stolen, casts Sonic Wave as well. Will Oa, or will Taji die? Yes, Taji does die, and now Nasum has to be very, very careful. It's just going to teleport out of there, rather than risk the wrath of any sort of tether stun. He tethers a creep, but unfortunately not enough in time, as looks like there's going to be a gank. Ricky, no, versus Morphling. Morphling is just forced to use all of his waveform mana. 22 and 3 up on this Morphling, but still Ricky, after being killed, has eliminated some of his farm. Is going to pick up level 6 relatively soon, so we'll see if Neolution decides to pick up Sentry Wards or Dust really, really soon. Dragonite picked up the Phase Boots, standard or different from the Treads, as we see a much more Chinese style of Dragonite, I'd have to say. Maybe they learned something from their match against DK, maybe they're playing a bit more, or maybe they just want to experiment, and if they want to experiment, that's fine, as looks like Jay did take the fall on the middle lane. The Stealth Assassin making sure to be ganked right before he hits level 6. A little bit unfortunate for Jay. But Puck versus Dragonite, how is Puck farming? 25 and 2, picked up the Strength Treads, so after that I should see the Puck go for some sort of mana item, and then maybe like even a Null Talisman or a bottle, and then just go for the straight Blink Dagger. But 7-1 in favor of Neolution. They're playing very, very strong, as looks like Chen is going to come in. They want to get a tower down, they want to get some sort of gold advantage going their way, and right now they have a level 6 Chen who has not emerged from the jungle until just now. Should be able to pick up a relatively fast mecha should he choose to go for it. 1600 gold in the bank, so he'll be able to pick up a mechanism relatively soon in about 600 gold should he choose to rush a straight up mecha. And right now this Chen is going to have to provide immediate impact, because right now he's just farming it in the jungle. And of course Chen, if he farms in the jungle, picks up those 3 creeps, it'll be pretty difficult to stop him early on, as it looks like waveform is spell stolen by the Rubik. A very nice spell to steal indeed. Meanwhile, Jay is going to farm on that bottom lane, but still has to be pretty careful, as Tidehunter approaching level 6 very, very soon. Meanwhile, Furion level 7 is going to go for a mechanism himself, as we're just going to watch movements. We'll take a look at the early CS. You can see 33 up on the Morphling, as is there any engagement? There might be engagement in the middle lane, but right now it looks like JJR, the Dragonite, is farming the best in the game, as Tidehunter is going to get ganked by the Dragonite, and the Chen combination. Kraken Shell should be dispelling, but unfortunately dispels a little bit too late. Tower dive by the Wisp is going to pick up the kill, or the illusion, as Woots picks up that last hit, and looks like Rubik's going to die in, but here comes the Puck. Dream Call catching 3 heroes, but it's going to get Dragon Tailed, going to get stunned. Can he get Thunderclapped? Here comes the Waveform. Woots picks up a double kill. The Waveform whiffs, but nice teleport in by the Prophet, and the last hit by Morphling actually did hit. So nicely done by Neolution, picking up a rebuttal kill, but looks like Dragonite and Wisp want to get a combo off on the Furon. Does Dragonite have enough mana? He should have enough mana for the Dragonite. Yes, he does get it, but he does not have enough mana for the Fire Breath. If he casts Soul Ring, Fire Breath gets the last hit, so Gnosticism does take the fall. Nice rebuttal kill, nice job by Mineski getting some tower dives, evening up the kill count a little bit, 8-4 rather than 7-1. So Mineski trying to get themselves back in the game, and they do have tower gold, and they have a Chen who's farming up very, very well. So if they can get up an early mechanism, they should be able to go for early pushes. As you see Wisp relocating in. Will they get the smoke screen? Yes, they do, but it is only level 1 smoke screen, but they still get the tether stun off. Can they get the last hit? No! Missed chain stunning by Mineski. Might be from the lag, but unfortunate. They couldn't. They spent a little bit of time trying to gank that Queen of Pain, but they couldn't get the kill nonetheless. And that's the power of Wisp ganking with the Riki, because you never know when Riki can just jump out of the shadows. Of course, Queen of Pain did know that the Riki was there, but still, there's going to be a gank on the Morphling. He's just going to morph everything to strength. It's going to be so difficult to kill him. It's going to go on the offensive castle waveform. Now, Illusory Orb just using to harass. But right now, Mineski playing very, very aggressively, and it's going to come on the back of the Chen. What will he decide to do? Will he continue to jungle up? Now he's at level 7, picked up a 3rd creep, or will he just start to push in? But meanwhile, just checking out the overall CS, you can still see Jojiro has the most farm in the game. And let's just check out the Puck gold very, very quickly. Puck, 240 gold in the bank, picked up a magic one, as looks like Rubik is just going to waveform out of the Dream Coal, and this Morphling is flirting with death, always maintaining his HP very, very low, but still is not in too much trouble. Has he even died? He has not died, so this Morphling not farming the fastest, but he's still surviving, picked up 2 kills all the while, so he's content to farm up. Meanwhile, Dragonite is going to go for the Lothar's Edge, very, very standard Pinoy play. I'm not really too sure if I'd like Lothar's Edge up against Morphling, just because there's so many heroes that can escape from this gank, but I guess in combination of Wisp getting that invisibility ganks will be so useful, as Wisp and the creeps are going to tether. They get the chain stun off, all in the Queen of Pain, and Queen of Pain does take the last hit. Unfortunately, Riki couldn't get the Blink Strike in, but nice gank by the Chen and the Wisp, just using their mobility of the Wisp and the Riki to great effect, with Chen popping in and out of the jungle. Will Mineski go for a push, as they're using Wisp in a really creative way with the Stealth Assassin and the Chen. I've not really frankly seen this even by Navi, but still pretty creative use of Wisp. Wisp is just overall a very creative hero to use. Still, Morphling is not dying. Dragonite going for Lothar's Edge. It's going to be pretty difficult to do anything with this Lothar's Edge unless he goes, because a lot of the Neolution side has a lot of mobility, as looks like there's going to be a waveform in on the Dragonite, but he's just going to Dragon Tail. Furion, is he going to teleport in with the Sprout? No, looks like he decided to cancel the TP, knowing that he's teleporting very dangerously to the tower, so there could be reinforcement teleport ganks by Neolution. You know, Rubik picks up a regen rune. Owa, after that abysmal start on the bottom lane, 0-4, still level 8, so not all is not lost, and he's still be able to pick up some levels of no field, but still he's taking a lot of farm, and has not been able to translate that into too many items, just because he's had such a rough time. Rubik, unfortunately, in this very aggressive, very mobile game, is probably the least mobile hero in the game with Chen, but at least Chen has some creeps to bodyguard him in the early game. But looks like there might be a dive on the bottom lane. Looks like Furion is going to be in a lot of trouble. Smoke screen with some tether is going to get the last hit. Yes, they pick up the last hit on Gnosticism. And will Wisp be able to relocate out? Yes. Meanwhile, Woods picked up a last hit on InTreso, as Fable and Telekinesis is going to be casted. Wisp should be back shortly, so Tyler should just GTFO as fast as possible. He will be able to get the fuck out of there, as Wisp comes back in there with the Riki on his back. Wisp places the Observer Ward. Nicely done by RR, just playing very, very well. I'm surprised to see, you know, RR is playing this Wisp quite well. I'm surprised that Mineski do not pick the Wisp more often. Maybe it just doesn't work against Pinoy lineups, but still, this is a very, very interesting experiment, and RR is playing this Wisp rather well. So I'd like to see more Wisp by Mineski in the future. Meanwhile, Chen, still no items. What is he saving up for, man? 3,400 golden bank. Will he go for straight relic? Guess looks like Dragonite's going to be a lot of trouble. Here comes the Sprout. Illusory Orb being casted. Nice block as KYT picks up the last hit with the winning red. But still, Chen saving up so much gold. It's probably going to get straight mecha into some treads or arcane boots. But still, looks like Neolution is going to mount to push on the top lane. But still, Chen, level 9, 13 minutes in the game. This is a very high level Chen. It's going to hit level 11 very fast, and you cannot underestimate the power of Hand of God in the early stages of the game, where it can just provide that 300 damage or 300 global heal, which can keep your team alive. But still, this top tower should fall. The buckler is popped by the Furion, and Wisp with or Morphling is just going to clear out creepers with that waveform, but still they lost the middle tower. Will they lose the bomb tower as well? This bomb tower, very, very healthy, and unfortunately, Chen and Rubik, the most immobile heroes in this game, not going to be very, very quick in terms of reinforcing their towers. But still, Chen, what are you saving up for, man? 4,300 gold in the bank, Chen. You should probably spend it. As looks like Wisp and the Stealth Assassin want to get a gank off. Here comes the teleport tether gank up on the Queen of Pain, but they're going to be in a lot of trouble. There's a lot of reinforcements as Dreamcoat is going to cast in. They managed to kill the Queen of Pain, but at what cost? At what cost? They get double killed as they did not know that Neolution was sticking around for such a long amount of time, and there were 4 heroes there. They picked off the Queen of Pain, killing Tashi. Queen of Pain not having the best time, but still picked up Strength Treads, and a Null Talisman is just trying to tank up as much as possible with the Bracer. So it's just going to try to survive as long as possible. Force reinforcements to steal in, and Tyler just be very, very careful that his Ravage does not get stolen. Here comes Sprout. Will they get a gang off on the Rubik? Chen going to come in. Will there be... No, Anchor Smash nicely timed as he's managed to steal the Anchor Smash. Net being casted on the Tidehunter. Unfortunately, the Stomp is a little bit too far to get the hit. Fade Bolt being casted. Tidehunter might be the first one to fall. Chen just doing a lot of damage in the early game. Cannot underestimate this Chen and his early game presence as Tidehunter is caught between a Rock and a Rubik. Never replacing one to be caught as Bali takes the fall, but now Neolution is completely pincered the Mineski squad as they pick off 3 Mineski heroes in the midst of all that. Very, very unfortunate tower dive, killing a Tidehunter who already used Ravage in exchange for 3 heroes. Not really nicely done by Mineski. Their over-aggressiveness playing a little bit too strong as Chen still has 4.5k gold. Just saying, a mech would have been somewhat useful there. Might not have saved them, but it would have been useful. So, not really too sure what you're doing, Woods, but you should probably buy an item, bro. Maybe he's just gonna go straight Aga. What is Wisp going for? He's going for Arcanes. Is he picking up any components for a mechanism? I do not see him doing so. Meanwhile, Owa is not... has picked up the Arcane Boot, so they have a lot of mana to work with. Looks like Woods is going to go for a fast Necro, so may want to get a straight up Necro 3 to surprise his opposing team, as looks like Puck is going to take the fall, but Jojiro managed to pick off KYT in the midst of all that. Taji picks up a double kill as R was ganking with the Dragon Knight, so sorry, my bad, I was focused on the Chen. My observing not the strongest today, but still. A lot more Dota 1 games to come up in the future, so I'll be able to pick it up in these next couple games. And of course, it's very difficult to observe a game with the Wisp, and Furion especially, just because they're teleporting all over the map. And I've been trying to focus on more smooth observing, so hopefully that'll make you guys a bit happier. But still, Necrobook being picked up by the Chen. No, he's not going to finish it. Just keeping a very, very deceptive Staff of Wizardry. Woods, you should probably pick up some sort of item. Man, as there might be a gank, Furion going to teleport in. Can he get the Chen? Only picked up boots just recently with that Ring of Basilisk. Should pick up level 11 relatively soon, but they want this Chen, they want his money, and it looks like Chen is going to take the fall. He's losing so much gold by not spending anything. He's going to cast a Hand of God, but should still take the fall. Nonetheless, no, Wisp comes in with the tether, but Scream Pain cements the kill. Woots, buy a freaking item. You're losing so much gold in these exchanges, as looks like Owa is going to go on the offensive, but now he's caught in the middle of a rock and a hard place. So he's going to be the next one to take the fall. If Queen of Pain blinks in with the Scream Pain, yes he does. Scream Pain picking up the kill as Dragon Knight picks up the Lothar's Edge. Will he be able to get the Chainstone? Not Chainstone properly. Queen of Pain still dies nonetheless, and Furion should just be able to teleport out of there, but still sloppy play by Mineski, running in one at a time, and the fact that the Wisp stuck around a little too long, or who stuck around? Owa just sort of dived in without any regards for human safety, as again missed chain stun, but still managed to kill the Morphling. But still, these missed chain stuns, as the heroes get more and more tanky, could cost Mineski. They really need to focus on getting these chain stuns down, as looks like, unfortunately, Jay managed to reveal himself at the last instant. The Waning Rift ticked in for full effect, and Neo KYT picks up the last hit. So how far is KYT from Blink Dagger? 500 gold from picking up Blink Dagger. Meanwhile, Morphling going for the Ghost Scepter. Going to pick up Ethereal Blade very early on, and the fact that people are very, very squishy. As we see, Chen went for a Dagon. Chen went for a Dagon. Okay, bro. Okay, Woots. I'm not sure if you're trolling. Maybe you already made out of your group stages. Maybe you think, oh, Dagon is some next level maneuvering shit. Going to give us mad burst damage, and of course, ganking with the Wisp and Chen. With Dagon with burst damage, mad pro, dude. But still, Dagon on a Chen. Not sure if Mineski trolling or just making this is a pretty bad item choice. Chen is very much a team fight hero who can get that Hand of God. Not really a very mobile hero with that Dagon, cannot really utilize it. And of course he'll be focused down, does not have any survivability, no mechanism, so he only has 875 HP, so he'll be able to be focused down very, very quickly. So he won't be able to cast Hand of God and the Dagon should he be able to be focused long enough. Maybe Mineski is just testing waters in this game. They're going with very, very unstaring picks. So the more I think about it, I'm starting to think that they might have made it out of their group stages, and if they did, they started using this game just to test the waters, to experiment with some crazy lamps, as it looks like there's going to be engagement on the Dragonite. No detection being casted. Looks like Dragonite's going to escape. Invisibility rune on the Tide Hunter. It looks like they're going to gank. Dragon Tail being casted on the... as there's going to be a Dream Coil only hitting the Chen, but he dies in the instant because he has an Omek. So yeah. Mineski, I think they might be trolling with their lineup and their picks a bit, but still should not be trolling. Cannot understand a team like Neolution, should not give them too much momentum, and still they'd get a poor seed, but still Morphling is going to pick up his Ethereal Blade very, very soon. Meanwhile, Queen of Pain probably going to go for a Hex with that Ultimate Orb. Does not really need a Linken's here, already quite tank, 1500 HP, should be able to survive initial barrage before he can able to blink out. Meanwhile, looks like a double damage rune is picked up by Jay. Jay is having abysmal luck with these farm and just getting ganked a lot. Only a couple Wraith Bands and Strength Treads to his name. Barely 1100 HP with the Strength Treads. And looks like the Wisp Rubik gank are going to kink the heck out of that illusion. Dragonite just going to tank a Shadow Strike. Dragonite going to go for that BKB. Not really too sure how useful it'll be, as Jay desperately trying to find somebody to gank. But only level 10, Stealth Assassin has to be very, very wary. Meanwhile, Nature's Prophet just doing what Nature's Prophet does, pushing towers, as Dragonite is going to try to clean up the farm with that Splash Breath. Level 15, very close to level 16, so if Jojo can pick up level 16 and BKB very, very soon, it'll be very difficult to stop him, but still Morphling picks up the Ethereal Blade, so he'll be able to burst down heroes in an instant, be able to one-shot Chen, should be able to one-shot Wisp as well. Yes, should be able to one-shot Wisp indeed. Should be able to one-shot Ricky as well, so gonna have to be very, very wary of this Morphling, as looks like Blink Dagger is picked up by the Puck, Smoke of Deceit being popped in the base, Mechanism being picked up by the Nature's Prophet, as well as a Hand of Midas. Maybe he wasn't expecting a Necrobook by the Chen, but still, this Chen taking all that farm, I was like, ooh, leveling up this Chen to a high level, pretty cool, but still, picking up Dagon. Not the most useful item in the game, as Puck blinks in with the Dream Coil. Can he guess the Wind Grip? Yes, he phases out, catching two heroes, Scream Pain, Sonic Wave being casted, Hand of God being casted as well. But still, these heroes are going to die without even using a Ravage, as the Smokescreen manages to pick off KYT the Puck, as Jay is going to go on the offensive. Can he kill the Wisp? No, Ethereal Blade just killing, melting down Ricky, taking amplified damage, as Ethereal Blade Morphling going to become even scarier and scarier as time goes on, as it looks like Oa is going to be in a lot of trouble. Queen of Pain is going to hunt down Oa. He picked up Phase Shift, but RR does take the fall of the Wisp, and looks like the stop is not on the side of Queen of Pain, but still managed to pick up the last hit. So Neolution just cleaning up Mineski, easy peasy, as Mineski is starting to fall apart. Dragonite was the only person not in that engagement. He's picked up BKB and is level 16, so still cannot underestimate the amount of damage Dragonite can deal once he picks up items besides BKB. And Sentry Ward is picked up. He pops the BKB. Will they get a block off? No, they're just going to leave Dragonite to escape. Will they get a ground sprout off to hold him in place? No, they're just going to be content because Dragonite does have a Quelling Blade. So not really too much, because Sprout does cost quite a bit of mana. As you can see, this Furion always carrying teleport scrolls. Whenever his teleport is off cooldown, or on cooldown, you can just teleport back, get full mana. This Furion playing very, very mobile, very, very aggressive. Meanwhile, Jay is not having too much luck, as we can just check out the farm very, very quickly. 2,000 gold in the bank for the Morphling, so he can go for Manta very, very soon. Should be able to pick a Yasha in about 50 gold. Should he decide to go for that route, might just go for straight Butterfly. Might just say screw Lincolns, might go for BKB. Anything is possible for this Morphling. Tide Hunter playing like a good support, as he's getting some Urn of Shadows wards. Fionn using that Midas to buy wards. Interesting take on Midas, as Queen of Pain going slowly but surely towards that. I think it'll probably be a Hex. Anything on the Crow? No, Neolution did end up going with the double Bottle Crow, or double Crow at the very least, in the late game. Did not realize that. as looks like they're going to try to focus down Roshan. Any wards up by Neolution to scout this out. Here comes Wisp with the relocate. Looks like they'll be able to kill the Rosh, and killing the Rosh, giving the Aegis to the Dragonite will be very, very important. And Dragonite picks the Aegis, but still Dragon form will be on cooldown. Puck is just going to blink out. Looks like Neolution does not want to take this team fight. But yeah, Queen of Pain is going to go for the Hex, so they have to be wary. Jay is just going to have to be even more and more careful, but Morphling has no regards. He's content to just continue farming up. Just checking out the CS, 144. He's picked up the farm recently. If he can get 200 by the 28-minute mark, that's the ideal burning farm. But still, he's a long way away. He's a long way away from home, but no, he just went back home, so my mistake right there. So, how will Mineski decide to play this? Will they just farm up their SA? I think they might want to do for that, or maybe wait for Dragonite to pick up a damage gem before going for some sort of push, just so that the Chen doesn't lose all the effectiveness in the game. But still, Dagon Chen not proving to be very effective at all. 900 HP, will die very, very quickly, and right now he's just farming it up, and he's still gonna have just 900 HP after he hits level 13. So, not really too sure about Wutsu's play. 4-4. A reasonably respected score by Chen, but still his item decisions leave something to be desired, so I think Mineski might be trolling a little bit and just going outside of the comfort zone, but still, it'll be a shame because ours played pretty well in my honest opinion. Besides some questionable relocate ganks, they've definitely been able to use Wisp reasonably effective, as we see Chen casting Dagon on Queen of Pain, doing about 200 HP in damage. Nice use of Dagon. Nice Dagon, bro. Nice Dagon. But Dragonite is getting a lot of farm, picks up a Hyperstone, as will they go on the offensive for Rubik. He's going to blink out, but still hasted Queen of Pain is not something you want to mess with. Dreamclaw going to hold Oa in place, as we see. Looks like a blink out as Ravage was used, but still Wisp is in a lot of trouble. But Wisp is going to teleport out just fine, so they bait out the Ravage. Nice juking by Mineski. But still, will they go on the offensive? Dragon Tail, unfortunately, not going to be able to be casted. Looks like Dragonite just no, he sold the Quelling Blade. A bit unfortunate, as Oa took the fall from the Shotgun Morphling. Dust of Appearance being casted. Dragonite is going to be in a bit of trouble, and if he gets killed, he won't have the Dragonite form up, and he's going to lose the Aegis Sentry Ward, of course, providing a lot of work. Hand of God coming down, but still Dragonite is going to take the fall. Nonetheless, can Ricky blink in with the smoke screen? Dragonite losing the BKB and losing that Dragonite form, and looks like he's going to have to back the heck away, replicate, not slowing at all. So, Neolution, they got a kill and they killed the Aegis, so overall successful engagement. They're probably just going to wait for the Titan to Ravage to cool down before they go for the next engagement. Wait for Queen of Pain to go for the next item. And meanwhile, Jay is just having a miserable time. Gets shotgun up. Poor, unfortunate Jay. And here comes some more Sentry Wards. Adapt Strike cleaning up heroes left and right. And looks like the Jojuro is going to be in a lot of trouble. A couple more hits on the back of the Morphling. And will the Holy Precision be enough to send him home? No. InTreso picks up a triple kill. InTreso just doing mad amount of work. And Mineski is crumbling under the pressure of Neolution. As looks like Rubik wants to be next one to fall. No, he still had Blink. So Blink Dagger by Oa. Pretty useful item for Rubik. But still, Neolution, they sense blood, they smell the weakness. Even without Ravage, they want to go on the offensive. Puck blinks in, and Oa is going to definitely take the fall. Yes, he does die, and Trezo picks up a wicked, sick streak. Mineski just making very, very questionable decisions throughout the entire game, even with an interesting lineup, even with some solid play by RR. And it might just cost them the entire game, but still, I think they might be out of the group stages nonetheless, so I think they might have been experimenting a bit. If so, I might have got a little bit trolled, as Jay blinks in with a huge smoke screen, silencing a bunch of heroes, as Fearon might be the next one to take the fall. Yes, the speedy Ricky just going on an absolute tear. He's going to go on Tidehunter as well. Can he just cast a random dust? Will they be able to kill Ricky? No, unfortunately Chen is blocking off his allies. A bit unfortunate as Puck blinks in, but he is silenced. Cannot save the Tidehunter. He's going to cast a Winger. Can he kill the Wisp? No, he's going to have to back the heck out of there, as Jay picks up multiple kills on their retreat. So Mineski's not out of this quite yet. It looks like Tidehunter's going to be able to escape, as Queen of Pain is going to get silenced. A bit unfortunate. Wisp cancels teleport in. He wants to go in the offensive. Can they kill Taji? No. Looks like Wisp takes the fall. Ricky's going to survive as the Dragonite gets a stun and the Fire Breath off. So Mineski capitalizing on Chaos, which is where they thrive, picking up a multitude of kills, picking up 5 kills in that exchange, or 4 kills. Puck was the only survivor there. But still, will it be enough for Mineski to get back in game? After 4 kills, it's still 32-17 in favor of Neolution. And just looking at the tower count, you can see Neolution has a 2-tower lead. And Ravage was not up in that fight. It was just used on Wisp, who got away. So Ravage will be up for this next engagement. And let's just check out the item progression very, very quickly. Morphling 500, 700 gold in the bank. Probably picked up another item. Maybe a Manta style. I don't think he farmed a Scotty that fast. Puck, Blink Dagger. Tidehunter, Urn of Shadows with some wards. Fearon going Necrobook standard these days. And of course Necrobook level 3 instrumental in terms of revealing DK and the Ricky. Meanwhile, Queen of Pain still hasn't picked up any items. Is farming as best as she can, but still pretty close to finishing that Mystic Staff Hex should you decide to go for that route. Meanwhile, DK not close to picking up anything. Chen just saving up gold because he feels like doing that. Might go for Dagon level 2. Yasha picked up by Jay, but still very, very underfarmed. Picked up a Vanguard as well just to survive. Vanguard Ricky, I think in this situation he'll be useful just because he'll just get bursted down by the Morphling before he has time to do anything. Blink Dagger on the Rubik and are picking up the Voidstone, just give him some mana regen, maybe build towards an eventual late game hex, but he should be nowhere near it to be picking up that, as Yasha is item picked up by Morphling. Still, after that triple kill, it's not farming the best. But still, Yasha with that Ethereal Blade gonna get him a lot of farm. As looks like Neolution, they're tired of this, tired of all these shenanigans that Mineski are pulling out. Will they go for the mid lane push? No, Dragonite is pushing the bottom lane all the while. He'll be able to pick up Plate Mail, but still it should be relatively far from finishing that ATN. Does not have an Aegis, so you might want to save up some money for a buyback. But still, that is not the Mineski style to save up for buybacks, so I wouldn't doubt to see him just pick up a straight up Plate Mail. Smoking to see is popped for just the puck. Meanwhile, Morphling is just going to continue to farm up. Did Queen of Pain finish the Hex? I saw Voidstone on the courier, but I guess Queen of Pain is just going to walk around a bit as this game is slowing down a little bit. But still, 49 kills in 30 minutes, not too bad in terms of kill count. Dragonite going to go on the offensive. Will they go for any ganks? No, looks like Neolution might want to fight top lane, push in a bit. But meanwhile, Mineski want to get some map control, kill that tier 2 tower. Pretty important in terms of teleporting in for a quick Roshan if they want to go for that. But still, Chen staying the heck back. They has Dagon level 1 as Jay managed to pick up a kill on Gnosticism. The Nature's Prophet, does he have buyback? He's going to be dead for another 60 seconds, so Mineski might just take this opening. So will Neolution decide to defend this? They do have the Riot, but still Nature's Prophet very, very instrumental as they're going to blink in. Mineski cutting off the creep wave. Will Mineski make a huge comeback? It'll be interesting to see, as does the puck have a teleport skull? He does, as Queen of Pain is going to teleport out. Queen of Pain just want to finish that Hex, as they're going to do a lot of damage to his tier 3 tower. Will Mineski take the fall? Does time to Ravage. Here comes a Blink Dream Call. Wanger catching 3 heroes. InTreso immediately picks off RR, as there's going to be Hex on Jojo. The Dragonite was invisible for the most part, as here comes the silence, but Ravage doing so much damage. Scream Pain, Sonic Wave, Hand of God not being enough, as Jojo is just going to teleport the heck out of there. But Oa and Woots are on full retreat, adapt to strike, canceling Oa's teleport skull, and looks like Woots is going to take the fall as well. InTreso picks up yet another triple kill and is just going to replicate out to that top lane, pushing all the while. Meanwhile, Dragonite did teleport out, so he'll be able to get some stun and some right-click damage, but still has to be very, very careful up against this Morphling. BKB is on cooldown, so he's going to have to just invis out of there. Dragon Tail should be cooling down very, very rapidly. Blink Lothar's going to be able to cement him, but still, Ethereal Blade, will he be able to get the waveform? No, he's invisible. Adaptive Strike being casted, and it looks like a Sentry Ward was dropped in the midst of all that. So, Dragonite does take the fall. Does he have buyback? He does not, as only the Chen has buyback, and Chen buying back would be pretty much worthless. Just be a waste of gold in this situation. So, Neolution going to take a top racks relatively easily. Meanwhile, 4 heroes are dead. Mineski, they could go for another axe should they choose to go for it. Still, the mid lane is pushing in all the while. So what will Mineski decide to do? 37 to 18. It's looking very, very grim for Mineski. They had a relatively good start to that engagement. They picked off the Furion, but still unorganized team fight did not favor them. Puck Dream Call, the initiations by this puck. This puck is played very, very well. 4 and 3, 68 CS, blinking, catching multiple people with the Dream Call every single time. So I think if there was an MVP, it would have to go to InTreso and this puck. This puck is just proving to me, it's funny, when the Pinoys take the puck up against international teams, they just tend to lose, but when they get counterpicked against the puck, they get stomped for the most part. So puck, I think against international teams, the Pinoys might want to start banning him. And against their own squad, they might want to not ban him so they can pick it up for themselves. But still, Puck proving to be such a thorn in the side of the Pinoy squads these recent days. So I wouldn't be surprised to see more and more Puck bans as Chen just melts in the blink of an eye. Woots, not sure what you were doing in this game, buddy, but it wasn't right. It wasn't right, man. It wasn't right. Wisp gonna take the fall as Dragon Knight cannot kill anybody, can just attack fast but not pumping out any sorts of damage. But it looks like Dragon Knight is gonna get gushed. Looks like InTreso picks up many kills. Taji managed to pick up the last hit, and I'm just waiting for Mineski to call it the GG very shortly, since they're clearly and undoubtedly out of this game. But still, I think they made it out of their group nonetheless, as Woots calls the GG. As I'm going to pause this game, bring up the final score screen. In this group, Group D, I think Neolution and Mineski both made it out. So I think this will be the last group stage match that I bring you, unless you have a request. There was an interesting Stars Boba group stage match where they picked up a Huskar, but still, I don't know. So I have more games to cast, more Dota 2, more Dota 1 in the very near future. But as usual, thank you all for watching, and have a fantastic day.